Happy holidays rolling out, audience. This is your girl, Christal Jordan, and it is the day before Turkey Day. And I hope everyone is enjoying themselves, enjoying friends and family. But thanks for hanging out with me, stopping in for a little interview. We have a special treat for you today. In the tone of the holiday season, we have one of our favorites, our ATL favorites, stopping by to talk about a brand new holiday movie that she is in on VH1. Please help me welcome the very beautiful, the very talented, the original pretty girl, Keri Hilson.
Hi.
Hey, Keri, how are you?
Hey, I'm good. Thank you.
Well, happy holidays to you, first of all.
Same to you. I can't wait.
What are you looking forward to? I know one of my favorite things, and I guess a lot of people favorite things to do on Thanksgiving is, of course, eat, but then also to watch movies. And you have a new movie that's coming out the following week.
Yes.
What is one of your favorite things to do during a Thanksgiving holiday?
Thanksgiving. It would be the same. Some years we actually go to the movies.
Yes.
Some years, my mother has a movie theater in her basement and we just pop something up.
Yeah.
And I just love the family time. I love sitting around and getting the updates from all the family members. And this year I'm on tour, so I have to leave the next morning, early the next morning. So I've got to kind of get home. I'm sure there'll be a little bit of packing, repacking to do and things like that. But yeah, I look forward to it.
Well, that's exciting to be on tour is because it seems like people as a whole are just a lot nicer. There's a different energy, that warm energy that's out there during the holidays. Have you found that like when you are on tour during the holidays that the energy is a little different?
Yeah, I mean, I think you get both because some people are testy.
Yeah.
Some people are out when this is why I avoid the malls. During holiday season, I do all of my shopping. I'm usually done by October or November.
Okay.
With my Christmas shopping because I just refuse to be in the stores with people. That's when it becomes a little negative.
Yeah.
People are fighting over things and that whole thing. Black Friday, you won't see me in any store.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it can go both ways, and
Mhm.
I find it best to avoid it. But generally speaking, yeah, the average person I think is happier. But
Yeah.
I would be remiss to say that there aren't people going through heartbreak, heartache, grieving, all kinds of things.
Yeah.
During this, it can be very triggering.
Right.
I lost my father 4 days after the New Year in 2020.
Hmm.
So this holiday season kind of puts me even in a certain place that was, our last Christmas with him, and just days. It makes me anticipate or not anticipate the beginning of every year.
Yeah.
So my mood is kind of dwindling right after Christmas. We try to get through it. We do well, but we're human and we
Yeah.
go through things, and it's not always the most cheery time, but I hope to bring laughter this holiday again.
I do. You know what? I was going to ask you about that after, but let's just talk about that a little bit now. I know you've been an advocate for mental health, and you've talked very candidly about things that you've gone through, and we know that during the holidays there are a lot of people that are struggling with depression, feeling lonely or feeling isolated. What
Yeah.
suggestions would you give people? Because sometimes people do have situational depression, and that's maybe they're not around their family, or maybe they've lost a family member. What
Yeah.
advice would you give to someone that feels themselves kind of slipping into that, that depressed feeling now that the holidays are upon us?
Yeah, I think it's wise to the same way we have situational depression, some people find it more long term. The same way you might realize your core, your reason for
Mhm,
feeling down or low
mhm.
or off kilter is the same reason you should maybe look into situational therapy. That's a thing
Yeah.
where it's circumstantial, you're aware of the circumstance, but you might need to talk it out, talk it through,
Mhm.
resolve something about it, find a way to get through the period, the phase that you're in. That's a thing. Therapy, we always think of it as a long term, like, okay, how many years and how much am I paying for all these years? Let me calculate this. No, you could literally have a few sessions to get you over a hump and to make whatever season of life you're in just a little more resolved, like I said. Yeah.
That's a good suggestion. I don't think people think of therapy like something like I'm feeling this way. I need to talk to somebody now. I may not need to go for, a year, but
Right.
I do need to do something to get myself out of this funk right now. Very
Yeah.
helpful. Very helpful. Well, as I said, you are a part of this amazing movie, this VH1's family Christmas wedding movie, and I don't think you all left any celebrities out of this film. Film is just about everyone in it, from the executive producer team, Gabby Sidibe, Jamie Foxx, to the all-star cast. You all, if you have ever heard the words all-star cast, I promise you have never seen anything like this. I want to play this little trailer, and then let's talk about this new holiday movie.
Okay. Family's a lot of things.
From producer Jamie Foxx,
but traditional is not one of them.
Comes a VH1 original holiday movie.
Love is a beautiful thing.
Spend the holidays.
After this expensive-ass wedding, I'm gonna be ready for some grandkids. 7.
With the only family in hip-hop
This year, I want awesome. You know I don't play that in my house.
that doesn't miss a beat.
Insult me again, Lucifer, and I'm taking my jewelry off.
Why is she in our house again? I think I'm melting.
Now, who's ready to go to the booty club and lie and say we went bowling?
You really got the wrong bitch.
Keri Hilson, Neo, Terrence J, Soraya, MC Light, Redman.
Are you ready for this or not?
A hip-hop family Christmas wedding. Premieres Wednesday, November 30th at 8. An original holiday movie.
I don't think you can get more hip hop than that. Method Man as your father, and
Redman
as your father, and MC Light as your mother. It doesn't get more hip hop than that. It does not. And I got to ask you, first of all, I was super excited to see you and Neo paired because of your record that you guys have, the Fall in Love record, Love Knocks You Down. So first of all, how did this happen? What did you think when you saw the script? And did you know that all these other heavyweights were a part of it?
Let me see. Who did I know was a part of it? I think I did know. You're making me think back to last year because this is now the sequel. I think I knew Neo was a contender for my love interest.
Okay.
I knew that Soraya was on. I knew that MC Light was on.
Okay.
I think I knew Redman would be my dad. Terrence J, I think also. So I might have been one of the last that Jamie Foxx and Datari Turner was kind of plucking from the haystack, and I'm super grateful because you're right, it doesn't get any more hip hop, but it's well rounded. Me and Neo in the R&B world, and I think it's a well rounded yet very humble, down to earth cast. Yeah. So very enjoyable. And I knew that about these people. I mean, these are people that, like you said, I have got a couple of hit records with Neo. We have a history, and MC Light, same thing. Terrence J, we all have. Terrence J has been in my mother's house. We've had dinner at my mom's with a date of his. I don't know, it was a random day, but we've been friends for a very long time, ever since probably my first times at 106 in Park. So these are people that you encounter a lot. You gravitate to who you gravitate to, and these were friends. I was like, easy yes.
Yes. Well, it's amazing, and it's fun. The thing I liked about it, it's a lot of fun, and there seemed to be like a lot of references to things that are actually people in the music industry. It feels just very real and very relatable. Do you feel like that was on purpose? Because I was like, this feels like, the references to different people in certain places, and the way Jermaine Dupri has a cameo is so much, but it feels like you're actually getting a chance to hear people in their real, in their real life, even though it's a fantasy story.
Yeah, they are Datari Turner is very, very, very intentional about if we're describing or portraying a certain position in an industry, or if we're portraying how the dialogue between a mother and daughter, or a father and son, or a mother and son, or father and daughter, or sister to sister, or fiance, you know, a love relationship in Black culture for POC. He's very intentional about it being current, about it being up to date, about it being authentic to how we as POCs relate to each other. So I'm proud of him for that. I think that, and of course there's some exaggerated notions like the pastor and things like that, you know, that would probably never happen in real life. But I think that's, we're better for having that thread of reality in this film, and it's interesting that you noticed that you caught that and pinpoint that. He would be very proud, and I'm gonna let him know.
Definitely. No, he does a very good job of that. Also, like you said, even the extremes, you know, from the everybody has family that may be a little bougie on one side, and then you have the, you know, a little ghetto on the other side. So it's a great mix of things that make us laugh, but that are familiar. You got to give us like maybe one or two examples of something funny, because I mean, with Bow Wow being in prison, it's just so much. It's hilarious. You got to give us something that was a special memory or something that you'll always remember about filming this movie.
Oh man. If I had to isolate the sequel, let me see. I think it would, there's this one moment that Neo and I see every time there was a kiss in the script, because we're friends, right? So every time there's a kiss in the script, we would act the scene out, right? And like just avoid that without words, without saying anything to anybody, without telling them, hey, you know, because it's just so, it's so uncomfortable. Like, really, kiss your friend? We've been nothing but platonic. We've been friends. Like, this is someone who sent me his first child's birth pictures at the hospital. You know what I mean? Wow. So, and I've been friends with, you know, people that he's been in relationships with as well. So it's just been so awkward. So I remember this one time, I'm getting to the story. Like I said, there was a kiss in the script. We had done the scene a few times over already. And we're acting our butts off. And finally the director calls us out and he's like, okay, kiss. So we're like, oh, right. We have to do that. Okay, here goes. And we had to do it in the moment because it was still rolling. He didn't yell cut yet. He was going to put that in. And we just, you know, without words, we had to get over that moment. And it will be one of my favorite. We laugh about it now. We are like dying laughing about it now. Just like, yo, remember when?
That is hilarious. I never thought about that, especially those type of, it's like a brother-sister relationship.
Yes.
Well, you guys did a good job. We would not have known that. But like I said, it was cool seeing you guys together because that hit was with that several hits, but one was so big, one of my favorites. And it's like, oh, it's really cool to see them connecting. You got to tell me about Redman being your father, because that was hilarious as well.
Yeah.
A lot of comedy coming from him.
Oh yeah. He's, you know, he really is in real life, like he skydives. He's a very adventurous. He has his license. I want to say to be a skydiving instructor. He was trying to be, he was working on that even while filming in Houston. He's like, oh, I went skydiving. I jumped out of a plane this morning. I'm like, you did what? First of all, isn't it in your contract that you can't be doing that while we're filming?
Right, in case something happens.
He's wild, but he's so much more centered than the Redman we all remember. So when it comes to people evolving, and I guess Jamie Foxx knew this about him, maybe. But he's very wise. He's very spiritual. And these are things I didn't expect. So for him to play a fatherly role,
Yeah.
especially when there are no jokes in it,
Yeah.
it comes naturally for him. It
Yeah.
really does. Yeah.
Nice.
Even if we're just having lunch together, like he's just really that kind of guy.
Yeah.
That surprised me for sure.
That is, and I don't think we've had, especially fans haven't had a chance to see him like that. So
Right.
I was like, I hope we get a chance to see more of him. You know, kudos to the casting for this. What do you think is the overall message? Because there's so many storylines. I hope this comes back again. I hope we get another one next Christmas.
I do too. Crossing my fingers.
Yeah, there's so many situations and relationships that I want to see what happens next, right?
Yeah.
So what do you think for you is the overall message with this particular one?
Oh, in the sequel, I think it's from what I experienced in this film, I think it's fighting for family, fighting for love, persevering, you know, doing what it takes to remain as one, you know, a unit, whatever that is, if that's me and my husband or fiance to husband, if it's staying on one accord as siblings, being on one accord as a daughter with your, you know, resolving issues between your mother and yourself, your father, you know, I think that resolving familial and relational issues, fighting for that and really prioritizing that and carving out the time and the opportunity to have this dialogue that's so necessary, especially in Black families, because it's something culturally we've tended to avoid. And so in that we've avoided our healing in a sense,
very true,
in a strong sense, you know, and I think that was the most beautiful lesson about a story, this particular story. Yeah.
I love that, because I think one of my favorite scenes was you in the bed with getting in the bed with your mom.
Yeah.
And I, you know, I think there's never an age where you're not your mother or your father's child. So no matter if I'm getting ready to get married or I still love my mom. And so that was that conversation with you and MC Light was one of my favorites as well. Well, I hope people tune in on November 30th, you guys, right after the holiday. This is a great way to kick off the holiday season. But I have to ask, because I have Keri Hilson here, I have to ask you, I hear that there's new music coming, and I'm super excited. I'm like a fan from way back. Like Energy was one of my favorites early. Oh yeah, from way back early on. So I want to hear, like, what can we expect? We know you're on tour, but tell us what kind of, where are you at in the process right now of creating new music, and what do you want to be able to kind of bring? I know you write and you're really involved. So what do you want to share this time around with your music?
Man, I've evolved so much in my personal journey, in love. That's what music is about for me, is being authentic to where you are, who you are, how you are, and where you are. And so that's what it is for me. I tell stories again, and of course, it's evolved. The stories are evolved, but they are still relatable and vulnerable. I have certain Keri-isms that I can't help. If I need to curse, I curse. If I need, it's for effect. And that's how Keri truly is. So it's great. It's sonically pleasing, I might say. I think I do great work. I think that's been proven in the success of the words that have come from my heart. So I look forward to seeing how it resonates with other people, my truth at this point in life.
Yeah. So it sounds like your process is more of going inside and pulling out what's going on with you. Do you also pull from other people around you in other situations, or do you kind of use it as a way to be a reflection of where you are at that point in your life?
Mostly it's my vantage point, my perspective. When I write for others, though, I've had to pull from their experiences, and I had to cultivate the skill of empathizing deeply with their position, or just exploiting their
Mhm.
position, wondering, what does that feel like? What does that sound like when I'm talking to this person? What is it? How emotively? Where am I? So that kind of helped sharpen my skill to kind of portray a feeling that I haven't felt. So I'm grateful for that because it opened me up probably to acting as well, having to study people and love, and on the male side, on the woman's side, I've been able to write for women and men, and
Yeah.
you know,
I was going to
so
ask that. How do you have you been able to use anything? Because as a writer, not just as a performer and an artist, but also
yeah,
someone that writes, you have to pay a lot of attention to
yeah,
sort of dial down. So
yeah,
did that help you? Because I think for a while we were wondering, is she going to go back to music because she's doing
yeah.
amazing over here in the acting world? Do you think the two work together?
It's both expression. It's all expression. It's just in different forms. In a film, the similarities are that between songwriting and I guess writing a film, is that in music, each character is actually an emotion. And there's a beginning, there's an arc for
Mhm,
each emotion.
mhm,
That may be the bridge in the song, that may be the second verse in the song, that
mhm,
may be the hook, might be a hilly ride. And in a film, it's like the same way. Like characters may have mini arcs.
mhm.
Usually there's one great mountain
Yeah.
uh, for each character. So I think there are some similarities for
Mhm,
sure, that I think have helped. Formatting a song is like a 3-minute version of a hour and a half film, you
mhm.
know.
Yeah.
So I would like to say that it has helped me, but I will say also acting
Mhm.
is a very different beast, um, than portraying emotion with your voice, like
Mhm.
singing.
Right. Right.
You could stand still and tell a story
Mhm.
in song.
Mhm.
Uh, it's all here. And in acting, it's not your experience.
Mhm.
It's you portraying an experience you've never had. So there's a lot of studying, there's a lot of researching, there's a
Yeah.
lot of practicing.
I'm s
You know, and even improvisation.
Mhm.
Uh, when you see those opportunities, you have to take them to keep the story real for yourself, for
Yeah.
nothing more than to keep it real for yourself,
Mhm.
whether they use it or don't.
Yeah.
You take that opportunity and you just give it your all every take. There's acting is it's like a never ending learning curve, I will say, and that's one of the things I really enjoy about it. I'm
Yeah.
forever a student. I feel like there's something to conquer every day I get on that set. I'm like, okay, today I want to work on, you
Yeah.
know. So
Yeah.
it's a beautiful process in that way, and something I could really see myself doing for a long time, just for the fact that it provides me so much, a sense of challenge and accomplishment, and it's
Mhm.
that ebb and flow between the two that's
Yeah.
constant. You know, you never feel like you've made it in
Right. You
acting.
gotta keep
I'm sure if I talked to Denzel, he'd probably feel the same way, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, last question. I know we've got to let you go. We're embarking on the holidays, and we appreciate your time. So you have done. We've seen you in quite a few movies over the last few years. Is there any character that you or any type of character or type of movie that you definitely want to see yourself in? Like you want to get a chance to take another challenge and do something different?
um I would love to display my athleticism. I haven't had an. I usually play someone that is pretty, or uh
Yes.
you know, or a temptress,
Hmm.
or you know, something that has a lot to do with the way I look.
Hmm. Hmm.
I would love something gritty, dirty. You know, I used to ride horses for 6 years growing up, English and Western.
Hmm.
I almost competed. I was jumping and doing, you know, I competed in the junior nationals as a swimmer when I
Hmm.
was 14 years old. So I swam all the way through
Oh wow.
high school, and um, was really, really good, excelled at that. And basketball, you know, two
Those are
year,
all very different. Those
very
sports
different,
could not
very
be more
different.
different.
I was 2-year best offensive. Senior year, I was MVP. I was 2-year captain. Like, this is a part of me that I feel that the world has never seen and
Yeah.
I've never been able to explore publicly.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a big part of who I am. It's a big part of how I think and how I
Mm-hmm.
move and how competitive I am with myself.
Yeah.
So I'd love to be able to pick that side of me back up and display that. I don't even care if it's not any of those sports, but to just
Do
maybe
something.
an action role where I can be physical. I want to show that I'm coordinated. I'm different.
Yeah. I love that.
I've got great reflexes. I've
I
got
would
great,
love to see you as a superhero. I think that would be
yeah.
awesome.
I would love to do that. And it would be an opportunity to get this weight off of me. I'm still struggling with the quarantine weight 2 years later. So
Well, you know, we're going to say enjoy. You look amazing as always, but enjoy the holidays. Worry about that after. But we're going to speak that into existence. We definitely could see you being one of our superhero.
hey,
You know, maybe even playing a bad girl that can kick a little ass.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Keri, and
Thank
happy holidays
you.
to you. Enjoy your holiday. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Thank you for having me. Happy holidays back to you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, you guys. Well, make sure that you check out VH1's A Hip Hop Family Christmas Wedding, November 30th. Make sure that you tune in, record it, watch it. Make sure that you share online about this. And again, from everyone here at Rolling Out, and of course from Christal with Love XO, we wish you guys a very, very happy Thanksgiving, a happy holiday season. Start your holiday season off on the right foot by enjoying it with friends and family. All right. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'll see you guys next time.